What's up, everybody? Welcome back to the Valenti VOD. Here with Matt again. Say hi.
Hello, hello.
We got a lot to talk about, ladies and gentlemen. It looks like Trump is genuinely trying to expand the U.S. empire, and genuinely the guy, he wants to buy Greenland, he wants to go to war with fucking Mexico, he wants to annex Canada. We're back, ladies and gentlemen, and when I say we're back, I mean we're fucked. We're absolutely fucked. So we got a couple of good things here for you today. We're starting off with Greenland, guys. Trump let out this insane fucking tweet because what job did he get to Ken Howry?
He is here. Let's pull this up on the screen real quick. So Trump appointed a guy named Ken Howry to U.S. Ambassador of Denmark. And, you know, he's giving his whole TLDR, but there's one line here that I really want
Ken
everybody
Howry
to
is also
focus
just
on.
like a fucking billionaire, is he not?
Yeah, I don't really know much about him, but this particular tweet,
Let's read it from the top.
Right here.
I am pleased to announce Ken Howry as my choice for United States Ambassador to the Kingdom of Denmark. Ken is a world-renowned entrepreneur, investor, and public servant who served our nation brilliantly during my first term as U.S. Ambassador to Sweden, where he led efforts to increase defense, security, and economic cooperation between our countries. As a co-founder of PayPal and venture capital fund, Founders Fund, Ken turned American innovation and tech leadership into global success stories, and that experience will be invaluable in representing us abroad. For purposes of national security and freedom throughout the world, the United States of America feels that the ownership and control of Greenland is an absolute necessity. Ken will do a wonderful job in representing the interests of the United States. Thank you, Ken, and congratulations.
Dude, I mean, they're saying it out loud now. That's the most crazy part of it, is like, I know that we experienced this once in his term.
That hurts my jaw to
do,
by the way.
Yeah, well, I'm sure it hurt his jaw too. But, like, they talked about this in the first term, and it was whispered. He said it in a meeting. Now,
and he wants to take Greenland
on Twitter.
Yeah, it's the same thing with Mexico that we were talking about. Because, guys, if you've been watching my content,
Wait, did they respond?
Well, no,
Greenland?
Greenland did respond, but guys, if you've been watching my content, okay, then you know that I've been going live and I've been talking to people and trying to spread the word that Donald fucking Trump and his cabinet want to go to war with Mexico, right? And none of his fucking followers, none of his cultists actually believe that he's stupid enough to want to go to war with Mexico. And we have gotten to the point where it's no longer a matter of, are we going to go to war with Mexico? It's a matter of fucking when.
Right.
And now we've got him trying to buy Greenland from fucking Denmark.
They responded, by the way.
I saw this. Give me the response.
Here, wait, let's find that.
Guys,
Here it is.
Greenland is ours. We are not for sale, and we will never be for sale. We must not lose our long struggle for freedom. Oh my God,
Here.
Dude. Yeah, no, that's what we saw earlier. He wants us to go to war.
To the extent that U.S. activities aimed... Oh, Jesus, the ads. Hold on.
The ads!
Get away. To extend that U.S. activities aim to take control of Danish territory, it must be prohibited and countered. Then they can't be all. Then they can't be there at all. I thought there was a bigger response, but whatever. It doesn't really matter. The point...
No, but what do you think the response is going to be? No, you can't fucking have Greenland. We own it. Like, I genuinely... Here's the thing, guys. Here's the thing. Only two things can happen. One, our nation spends an exuberant amount of money to buy Greenland. Enough money where Denmark is like, all right, fine, you can have it. Or... we go to war with the fucking Danish, just like we're gonna go to war with the fucking Mexicans, and we're gonna go to war with the fucking Canadians. This guy's a warmonger.
Yeah,
this guy's a fucking warmonger.
I really detest the fact that there were so many people going, Trump's anti-war.
Oh, he's a peaceful
Trump's
dove.
going to get us out of the war. We're going to have
dove.
war. We're going to have peace on earth for the first time ever because Donald Trump will save us. It's delusional. All you have to do is read his policy positions because he lies on the campaign trail, and that's the whole, the bait and switch of the rallies because they cover him so much. That's what I mean. When you really think about it, the media gave him billions of dollars of free airtime because they had a valuation of how much airtime.
The media loves Trump because it gives them something to run on.
They made a lot of money off of him. But what it comes down to is he or is he not good for the media? Yes.
No, he's great for the media.
But what they don't do is they don't read his policy positions. And where is his policy positions? The Project 2025 book.
Yes.
Which is a real thing. I don't give a shit what anybody says. He put the
founder of 2025 in his cabinet.
There wasn't one founder. There were think tanks behind this, but one of the main architects or like one of the head guys from the most prominent think tank is in his administration as like a aid to an appointed official.
That's all you need to know.
That's all you need to know.
Trump supports 2025, Project 2025.
Right. But this keeps going. Like and honestly, here's the thing.
Yeah.
Maybe the Greenland stuff is a joke because he's trying to keep everybody on his toes about the tariffs. This all ties together to the tariffs. When you say you want to annex places, when you want to do tariffs, if you read The Art of the Deal, I didn't read it, but I read excerpts that people said none of this should come as a surprise to people. This is the way
attack.
But
that's Roy Cohn's
like
rule
the main
number
thing
one.
that I think he's actually serious about.
The Panama Canal
is Trump threatening to reassert U.S. control over the Panama Canal.
Fucking ads, man.
Listen,
Dude,
you know what?
I don't understand, like, the whole reason why we gave up the Panama Canal was because the Panamanians were able to control it without U.S. interference being there. It was cheaper for us to not be in control. That's the whole point. And I thought Trump was all about saving money for Americans and all that shit.
Right. So it's 50 miles long.
Yeah, it changed the entire understanding of fucking shipping.
Right. Because instead of sailing around the southern tip of America and like many ships, I don't know if you know this, many ships would go down there. I forget what I think it's because the water
There's
mixes where it's cold and hot because it's near Antarctica.
Yeah, when you go down across the southern tip of Africa, but then the Panama Canal changed everything because now they use like water lifts, which you just saw if you scrolled up, you could probably see the fucking water lifts. They didn't actually dig through everything. They just put the ship on top of it and then they use the rain.
Locks.
Yeah, but the rain throughout the year is where they use the water to just raise the ships up. It's actually a astounding piece of human innovation.
Yeah, it's crazy. But when did Panama gain control? The U.S. built it and operated it until a treaty signed by Jimmy Carter transferred the canal to control. So I don't know if people are familiar with what amortization is. It means you front the money and then you get a better trade deal until you have received your money back plus whatever interest you originally negotiated. Okay. And then since you can't pick it up and move it, it becomes the ownership of the landowner.
Yes.
Which also includes the maintenance, upkeep, and...
Yes, and that is why we gave it to Panama, is because we don't have to pay to maintain the Panama Canal.
Right.
We don't have to pay to make sure that all these ships get through. But you know what we do have? An incredibly good relationship with the Panamanians.
And look, this is the
until now!
And this is the president's response. You can read the...
Every square meter of the Panama Canal belongs to Panama.
Right.
Oh my god. Dude, they're literally gonna, like, fucking not trade with us. They're not gonna give the U.S. access to the Panama Canal because we're being such fucking dicks.
So, like, it's saying right here, this is USA Today, so it's a reputable, thank you, USA Today, but I'm not subscribing right now unless you make me. It's saying it's not clear how Trump could reassert U.S. control of the canal, and Trump did not say how it could happen.
Yeah, but that's...
Hold on. He criticized what he called the exorbitant rates Panama's charging. Now, that, I don't know what... everybody has a different definition of exorbitant rates, but at the end of the day, that's why I talked about tariffs. Yeah. That's exactly what this is. They could take into account market conditions, international competition, operating costs, who uses it the most.
Yeah, so shit we're paying so much, we fucking use it all the time.
I know, but when you think about it, if you are the major user and there's fees every time we use it, we're bankrolling 75% of the revenue that they pull in through the Panama Canal. And if they're pulling the wool over our eyes, which that's up for debate as to your philosophy on tariffs, because it's...
but if you want to talk about negotiations and rates, that's one thing. That's not what he's saying. He's saying, I want the canal.
The art of the deal.
The guy's such a cocksucker.
Well, So the United States used the Panama 75% of its traffic in 2024. We increased from 66% in 2019. China and Japan are second and third, respectively. See, that is why. The reason why is not because we're 75%.
It's because
China's
keeps using it.
21%. And what they're going to do, in my opinion, is they will make a deal with Japan, but they will screw China over. And that's a common theme here. I believe that is entirely why that this is happening.
We'll do anything to undermine China as a nation.
But
Wow.
The Panama Canal is one of history's great feats of engineering. Connecting the Atlantic and the Pacific, the canal represented a major change in trade between East and West,
History
saving
matters.
time for many states and damaging the economies of others. It was finished by the United States in 1914, and these lands in Panama around the canal were under US sovereignty until 1999.
so we had it. That's kind of like how America works with Washington D.C. It's under federal sovereignty, but
Luigi, stop.
but it's sandwiched between what is it? It's Maryland and D.C.
Maryland,
But I don't think there's a border from
Virginia, I
Delaware.
think.
Maryland, Virginia, but not Delaware. Anyway,
Because in 1977, President Jimmy Carter had agreed to return it to Panama in return for exactly nothing.
Attaboy.
see, that's a shit deal.
No, but the whole, keep going.
No,
You'll see
he
why.
should have gotten it in return. We get the best rates of anybody.
I guarantee you the deal was that if we give you this for free, you have to constantly let us put anything we want through that fucking.
But if he
canal.
didn't get it in a treaty in writing of all your partners, we get the best deal. Right now, it's up to whoever manages the canal. Is it the government? Is it the companies? Is it the contractors shipping shit through?
Given how useful controlling the canal was, especially during the Cold War, why did the United States do this? Why did the USA give up the Panama Canal for free? So, since Europeans had first discovered the New World, they
Jesus.
dreamed of building a
Holy
canal straight through
shit.
Central America. It never happened because digging is quite hard, and digging through a continent is even harder.
Wow.
This didn't stop the
They
French
used
from
lifts
stepping up in the
instead.
late 19th century, though, since they had just finished building the much longer Suez Canal.
Okay, boring. Let's see. What we really want. There were several reasons why we gave it up.
And after this, despite some grumblings, the USA was treaty-bound to hand over the canal, a process which would be completed by the end of the millennium, which meant that after this, Panama would go from being politically cut in half to just geographically. I hope you enjoyed this episode, and thank
Well, that explained
Anyway.
nothing because you skipped through the entire fucking video.
We don't need to go through the video. But the point is like we gave up.
Wait, go back for a second. Scared fuck. Oh, I thought they said scared fuck dragon.
That's so funny. But like this is a common theme with what's going on. Like Trudeau, who by the way, he's about to fall off the map of Canada.
Yeah.
He had
He's a shit leader.
and you know it's funny. Canada's prime minister resigning was partly because of this trip. But Trump, I find it hilarious that Trump actually said, "Oh, well, you could be Governor Trudeau of the 51st state of Canada."
Trump is, what's the word? He's what is it that like apex predators do sometimes when they're showing off their color? Like flamingos do it when they
No, not flamingos, peacocks.
peacocks. Sorry, a lot of creatures do this where they make themselves look big and scary, even though they're not really ready to fight. Right, and it's just hoping to get what they want from that other creature, and that's what I think Trump is fucking doing. Is he's talking a big game, but you know the fact that this is no longer like a joke, that they're really proposing things like annexing Canada and
But see, this is what I'm talking about. Fox
invading
News reported that
Mexico.
Trump made, this is from the AP, reported that Trump made the comment in response to Trudeau raising concerns that Trump threatened tariffs on Canada would damage Canada's economy. Well, you know, so I don't know what side of my brain to listen to on this issue. There will be pain, and essentially the consumer pays the tax of the tariffs. But in the long term, if you're using the tariff strategically, not a blanket tariff, then you're supposed to get more economic independence by incentivizing business being built here.
but these are blanket tariffs.
I understand. I guess my point is like, if we're going to just renegotiate our trade deals because we're buying the most, and when you buy the most, look at all these big stores. If they're a huge client of the supplier, they get a better deal. And if we're getting shit deals, right? If we're getting the same deal as China, but we're buying 6 times more, should we be getting more money off or an incentive to do more business with us opposed to China?
We're not going to get that incentive because we don't have American manufacturing, because we shipped it all across the fucking planet. If you put a blanket tariff on all of Canada's goods, all of China's goods, all of Mexico's goods, literally everyone else will increase their prices to meet that new minimum rate that they can fucking charge and pocket the rest of the profit.
So the public safety minister
president was telling
Dominic
jokes.
LeBlanc, he attended the dinner. He said the president was telling jokes, the president was teasing. It was, of course, on that issue in no way a serious comment. The conversation was going to be lighthearted. He called the relations warm and cordial and said the fact that the president is able to joke like that for us. So the gist of it is like, okay, he's joking, and I very well actually think there's areas here.
I hope to God he's joking. He sure as shit ain't joking about invading Mexico.
Where he is joking.
Give me that Rolling Stone headline for Mexico.
This is the real thing.
I just want to see this, and then we'll probably call it here. I just want to bring this up, guys. This is a Rolling Stone headline. Team Trump
you got to read
debates,
through this.
Team Trump debates how much should we invade Mexico. Trump's government waiting. The only question is how massive the U.S. assault on Mexican drug cartels should be. So, okay, ready, folks. If you've got young boys, if you've got family members, get ready to send your young children to go fight and die in Mexico for Donald Trump, because he's a fucking warmonger. He doesn't care about you, and all he cares about is his goddamn rich friends profiting off of our own deaths.
Yeah. Well, hold on. Let me pull this up, because that had a paywall. Oh, here we go. Okay, I found it. So they're trying to debate how much they want to. That's the key term. If you're debating how much, that's a guarantee that you are absolutely going to debate.
Fuck Yahoo.
Oh no, what happened? All right, here we go. Sorry. So they're debating how much once he takes
Senior
office.
Trump, yeah, how much should we invade Mexico?
The soft invasion would involve American special forces assassinating cartel leaders, another source close to the president-elect told Rolling Stone. Here, you can keep going.
These three sources familiar with these conversations told Rolling Stone that Trump said the U.S. is tougher killers than they do, and is mulling a similar plot that carried out when American forces killed ISIS leader Bakr Baghdadi in 2019. When a covert outlet reported they would not rely on the Mexican government's consent. So not relying on the Mexican government's consent quite literally means that Donald Trump is willing to declare war on Mexico, because if the Mexican government says, no, you can't send your fucking special forces into our nation, then he'll just do it regardless, which is that is a military act. That is a violent act of war.
Right. So here, Marco Rubio, he had previously endorsed sending the troops to combat the cartel, but he said they would need cooperation from the Mexican government. Personally,
yes, with cooperation, I mean, you could feasibly do it. Even still, it's fucking insane both ways.
And like, here's the question, because if the cartels are behind the immigration problem, they're behind the fentanyl crisis. I know it's not all, but even if there's 20%, 30%, the question is like, should they be treated like terrorist organizations?
No.
I don't necessarily agree with that.
They're not in our nation. We have no legal authority
Right.
to track them down in a sovereign nation. That is
I'm
up to
saying
the Mexican special
that's
forces.
what I'm saying is like, if
You want to help Mexican special forces?
No.
Sure.
That's what I'm saying.
But if you want to do it yourself without Mexico's consent, that is a declaration of war on Mexico, not the cartels.
I know, and that's why, like, thankfully, the Secretary of State, Marco Rubio.
That guy's a fucking war hawk.
Hold on. What I'm saying is like, let's say, hypothetically speaking, right? Like, Trump says, hey, Mexico, either we're going to tariff you at 5,000%, or we're going to do a reasonable tariff or no tariff if you do a joint venture in taking out the cartel in a way stronger military operation.
Yeah,
they
you
say,
can't take out
yes,
the cartel.
thank you, please, we need the
Yes,
help.
but you have this false understanding or belief that we would win that war.
I don't understand why we wouldn't win that war.
Because you can't. We never won the war on terror. You can't win a war against a cartel. A cartel is composed of civilians. It's not a standing military. They can't surrender. They won't surrender. They're also armed to the... Did you know that Mexico is suing a gun store in Texas for shipping guns across the border to the cartel?
No.
Like, all of the cartel's weapons... They have helicopters, dude. This is not a small Force, these are guerrilla fighters. Every time America goes to war in guerrilla fights, we all fucking die. Vietnam, Iraq, we can't win these wars.
Yeah, wait. I want to see what you're talking about. The Iron River, Mexico's legal battle to stop gun trafficking from the United States.
Yes, we send them so many guns.
An estimated 200,000 to 500,000 U.S. firearms are smuggled into Mexico every year. Oh, so they're essentially saying the reason there's too many guns.
You guys are causing the problem. That's what they're saying. Mexico is saying the reason our cartel is so violent is because you fucking idiots keep sending us guns.
Who's this guy? Jonathan Lowy is an American attorney who's been battling the gun industry in court for 25 years. If you think fentanyl overdoses are a problem, if you think migration across the border is a problem, if you think spreading of organized crime is a problem in the U.S., then you should be caring about stopping the crime gun pipeline to Mexico.
Yeah.
And you need to stop it at the source.
I got a question for you and for the audience. How many gun stores do you think there are in Mexico?
I have no idea.
Guess.
100.
One.
One?
Government owned. It is the only place that you can buy a firearm. Every single gun in Mexico was smuggled in from other places.
Right.
The majority of them from the United States. There's one.
I had no idea of this story.
Because they don't want you to know this. The cartel is an American company. It's just operating in Mexico. Who the fuck do you think is profiting off of it?
Oh, so this was on 60 Minutes. This was recent. This says December 22nd, 2024. Dude, that's the other thing is, like, if you're going to figure out what the border crisis is, and again, I think this is all tariffs, but the Mexican U.S. border, the southern border crisis, that has been the lead Republican issue for a long
Yes, because
time.
they are not American. They're undocumented immigrants. They are capable of dehumanizing them without any consequences. You dehumanize an American, you say that this is an American problem, which it is, then you have to fix the problem. But this, no, you don't have to fix the problem. You can kill the problem. They're not American. According to the Republicans, they're not American, so you can just kill them.
I really hope we don't see. I'm anti-war. I want less war. I want a more secure America.
Me too. That's why I didn't vote for Donald Trump.
Right. No, I didn't vote for Donald Trump either.
I know.
But the whole thing is like, we need to do something because what's currently happening at the southern border clearly is not working. In terms of immigration policy is one aspect, but what's driving these things? How do you deal with the cartels? I know we need to do Mexico, but if Mexico is the one that needs the support, how do we go about that? Like, look at Ukraine. If people are going and saying, "Oh, well, Ukraine is being invaded by Russia," Russia's obviously way bigger, way stronger than the cartel is, right? But if we could defeat Russia, then I don't understand how we could defeat
because Russia has a standing
cartel.
military. They're not also, it's not guaranteed that we could defeat Russia.
I guess what I'm saying is like, if we're supporting Ukraine because of an invasion, why wouldn't we support the Mexican government against the invasion from the cartels?
We always have, and we do. We have been. We fund them. We do have military operators that work hand in hand with.
So if we're already doing it, why wouldn't we expand doing it?
Because working with the Mexican government with their consent is not the same as doing it without.
Oh no, I'm in favor of the consent. I'm
know.
saying like Marco Rubio was saying with the consent.
No,
but clearly Trump was like
no.
without
Trump
it.
says without it. No, so what Marco Rubio says doesn't matter. Marco Rubio is a fucking cuck. He means nothing. He means nothing. What do you think? Donald Trump can't make anything that Donald Trump wants. His loyalists will guarantee happens. Right. Marco Rubio is going to bend the fucking knee like every other Republican if Donald Trump asks him to.
Right, and like the whole thing is like I don't know what the motivation is, but Trump is like trying to replicate what happened in history. Like
in 1830, Mexico banned.
I don't necessarily need the audio, but immigration was literally banned from America to Mexico for a number of reasons. But the annexation of Texas was us going in and dealing and taking control of Mexican territory.
Oh, well,
and
yes,
that's
what
Texas
this is,
comes
we're
from.
just trying to, Trump just wants to push the fucking, Trump wants to build like the greater U.S. He wants to expand the U.S. He wants to take the northern portion of Mexico, if not all of Mexico. He wants to take all of Canada. He wants to take Greenland. He wants to take the Panama Canal. I wouldn't be surprised, ladies and gentlemen, if Trump tries to take Cuba. Mark my fucking words. You heard it here.
Also,
Trump will try to take Cuba.
Let me rephrase that. Texas seceded from the Mexican territory. But who were the people who went over to Texas? They were Americans on the westward expansion. So then they became an independent nation, right? But then the United States, the
No,
United.
I don't think Texas was an independent.
Yes, no, it was. It's literally on the screen. It was here. Hold on, let me pull this up.
In 1830, Mexico banned immigration from the United States. Why? Well, one reason, slavery. But for the whole picture, we have to look to the history of Texas. Before Texas was a U.S. state and its own nation, it was part of Mexico's northern states.
Just look at that. Mexico, California.
Yep.
We got so much territory with Louisiana, the Louisiana Purchase, of course, but we got so much territory from Mexico. This is ingrained in the nature
We also
of...
went to war with them for that land.
That's what I'm saying. If we've had a war once, I do not foresee that it would be the only war. I don't want another war, but, it's fucking happened.
Of Coahuila y Tejas. But the region was sparsely populated and vulnerable to
right,
Native
we don't need to watch
American
this whole fucking
tribes.
thing.
No, we don't need to watch the whole thing.
So yeah, I get the point you're trying to make, that Trump is trying to retake land the way that we did back in the fucking day when we were still expanding as a nation. But it's like, I used to make a joke like we never stopped it. We never said we stop at 50, and it seems like Trump is taking that far more seriously. It's no longer a joke. But listen, guys, we had a really long episode here tonight, so make sure you hit that fucking subscribe and comment down below. Luigi! I'm gonna have to take that dog out and take a shit. But and hit that notification bell so you can be notified next time I make a video. Valenti, say goodbye.
Bye, guys.
Bye, guys.
Thanks
I love
for
you. Have a good
joining.
one. Thank you.